Okay, so for the past couple of days, right? A couple of things happened, and I've been collecting information all over the place just to try to provide our English community some updates. And so let's go over this what's been happening, right? So as some of you might know, I guess 2 or 3 days ago there was another a dip for our FIS token, right? And then this time it's obviously something happened, right? And then as as we all know, we're facing communication problems. There are problems with directions and among other things, right? And then as a response, so Paul and other prominent figures within the community, right? Like we provided the feedback to the FSTSwap developers, right? So in return, they establish a group, and then I know that some of you are in this group, right? And then this group is established for the purpose of building bridges and building communication channels with the developers in the foundation. Okay, so we got developers and foundation representatives that are in the group ready to provide answers or for any kind of questions that are pertaining to FISWAP and our public chain that is about to launch. Okay, so a rule of thumb is any general questions that's related to like crypto in general. Uh, I think like you should just do your own research, but any questions that are related to FitSwap, you can ask anything over there. They can clarify, even if even if it's like a rumor base, you hear some rumors and then you have a question about whether this is true or not. You can ask these questions, right? As long as they are able to clarify and provide answers. And then and again, this group, right, is it's for people that are basically it's for people that are like I said in the beginning, it's for people that are liaisoning for other people. So let's say you introduce your friends and family to this project. They may not necessarily have their attention here, but once something happens within the community, let's say we had a big dip in the token price, they always come asking questions, right? So for those of you who are providing the communication and that, and then for those of you who are introducing your friends, right, you guys should be in this group and then asking questions. Okay. And then also there are another group that is created, and then these are they're representative from over 30 communities, and previously nodes are gathered in the group, right? So they have 1 to 2 people per group in that group to discuss things to discuss like strategies and discussions to improve our swap and future public chains. So uh, again, like right now, I am like I applied myself to the group, and then I'm in a group to gather information for updates for the people in our English communities. And then I obviously the discussion is held mainly in Mandarin Chinese. So if you're able to, let's say, if you want to join the group, right? Like I believe Gino wanted to.
Flats. You think it's a real
Uh, I believe Gino said that he's interested, right? So if he doesn't mind translating every single message, then he can be one of our representatives in that group as well, right? So you just have to ask, I guess the trailblazer, that guy in the group, to be included. Okay. And then these representatives from the 30 communities are some of the top minds of the community. So these people have like thousands of people under their communities, and then so they themselves have established group, and they have done the groundwork that's back in 2020 and 2021. Okay, so these are familiar faces and familiar voices that you guys can probably recognize, if you have been paying attention, or if you've been in the call in the past, you can probably recognize some of these people. Okay, and then that's about the group. Okay, so right now all the decisions are made collectively by community representatives. Okay, and these representatives are taking the interest and from their community. So it's much like our kind of like the U.S. political system in a way. So you get representative from each district representing the interests of their district, and then they go up into gather up, and then uh, provide strategies and future updates to community to better our swap. Okay, so right now, and then also there so that's basically what the group is for. So there are two groups. One is for the community, and then for our English community to establish a channel of communication with the devs and foundation, and the other one is to come up with a strategy to improve our swap along with rest of the community minds. Okay, and that's the first one. And then as a result from the joint consensus that was reached with the previous mentioned groups, right? So right now the consensus revolves around a strategy to bring our token prices up. So as you all know, right, in the past 2 months, our token price has been taking a dive. Maybe not one dive, a couple dives, right? And then so they're forming strategies and currently implementing these strategies around the community. And then it's already been posted in our English channel. But to clarify, right? So this strategy revolves around first withdrawing a portion of token from your OSK and FIS pool, and withdrawing a portion of token from your FIS and USDT pool, and withdrawing a portion of token from your OSK and FOM pool, and then use the OSK you've withdrawn from the OSK and FIS pool, or OSK and FOM pool, and use the USDT from FIS and USDT pool to provide liquidity for OSK USDT pool. Okay, and any extra FIS that you might have as a result from withdrawing, you can deposit these FIS into the elephant pool, and there's a single token pledge of for all three of the tokens. So their difference is the FIS, right? This is called auto FIS. It compounds automatically, and then it's taking I think 0.5% of the total trade, okay, transaction fee, and then provide it to all the people who have stake in the auto FIS. Okay, and for font and OSK is a little bit different. I have to check the ratio on that, but I believe it's 0.3 or 0.4%. Okay, and then that's for the font OSK single pledge token pool. So it's a little bit different fund an OSK single pledge token pool doesn't reinvest, doesn't auto compound. So you have to take out the token and repledge again. Whereas the FIS auto compounds. Okay, so it is a little bit different. And one more thing, if you have been, okay, if you have been using these pool in the past, right? There is a new contract. Okay, there is a new contract in the elephant pool. So if you have been staking for OSK and font in the past, I would suggest you, okay, to go to the pools again, and then go to the elephant pools again, connect your wallet, and then check under the finish tab. Okay, so you should see if you've been staking in the past, you should take out your if you've been staking in these pool in the past, you should take out the font and OSK from there, and then go to the live version of these newly implemented contracts and stake it in there again. Okay, so there's just a refresh, and there is no there are some things that are changed, mainly with the proportion of transaction fee that you guys earn, and then there is a audited there's an audit provided in the links, and then I can post that later in the English chat, but you guys can check it out as well. So you have to take it from the finished pool to the live pool in order to get something again. Okay, so that's just something that you need to do, and you should do it sooner, because if you stake your token in the finished pool, they're not earning any interest, right? So you should be earning your interest in the live pool, and that should be it for the pool. Okay, and then regarding to this strategy, right? Like withdrawing OSK at this pool. Like what's this gonna do is that we're gonna start building up OSK. Okay, so in the past, all of our three tokens are pegged together, right? So we have our number one pool being OSK and FIS pool, and then second to that was the FIS to USDT pool, right? So as you can imagine, if there's a rise in value in one of the tokens, let's say FIS, it's gonna at the same time it's gonna drive up the price for the OSK token as well. But similarly, the vice versa is true as well. Okay, so one token if one token goes down, the other token will suffer as well, right? So in the past couple months, right? In the past couple months, we have seen a lot of other projects that are coming in here, which is a good thing because we need the traffic, right? We need more people to know about us so they can participate in the public chain that we're about to launch. But at the same time, these organizations slash projects that are coming in, right? They're here, like make no mistake, they're here to make money. Okay, so their primary objective is to make money. And then if your project is good enough, maybe they'll stay. Okay, but at the moment, right, we're still in the transition phase. Maybe they don't see too much value in what we're building here, right? So and then our public chain hasn't come online. So these organizations slash project, right? We haven't even begin to show them where we're about, right? So what they're going to focus on is turning our token to make a profit, and then take out the USDT, or sell our token into a stable coin. So that's their objective, and that's what they've been doing. Okay, so we realize this, and then so now we're not. So now we're focusing on building OSK. So kind of, and then hoping that we can build up a stronger pool for the OSK token. Thus, we can depeg the relationship or lessen the relationship between FIS and OSK token, and then now the price of OSK token will hinge on USDT instead of this. Okay, so what this is going to do is our token price is going to go up for OSK token, and it will require a lot more FIS to buy OSK token if anybody or any organization with other ulterior motives, right? Let's say they want to manipulate the price of the OSK token, then they will require a lot more capital. Okay, and then and then also there's another advantage with OSK token is that if you guys remember, our OSK token, the total circulating supply for our OSK token was 1 million, and then after the after 407, our total circulating supply for our current OSK token was cut into 700,000, and then there's 50,000 locked in the OSK movie NFT. So the total circulating supply right now is only at 650,000. Okay, so and then these 650,000 OSK token is spread very very loosely around a lot of wallets. So if you go on any statistic website that has our tokens statistic, you can watch the token holder of our OSK token. The last time I checked, it was I think I'll pull up the data in the meantime, but I'm gonna keep going about this. So that's one of the advantage. So the total circulating supply of OSK token is very limited, right? So it becomes easier to for us to rise in price. And another thing is that uh, uh, so the first thing is the circulating supply is very low, and then the second is majority of the holders are the loyal believer of this project. Okay, so outside organization mainly buys FIS. Okay, and then like there's like you can check the data for it. Like their objective again is to make money, so most of them they hold our DEX's token, which is FIS token, right? And then if they're looking to make money, they'll turn it into stablecoin, which is USDT, right? So majority of them do not hold OSK token in their wallet. Okay, so it is the safest way for us to build our tokens price up without any outside manipulation. So that's why they have chosen to use OSK as the token of choice to break out of this the current situation. And then let's see. And then with everything said, right? This doesn't mean you should pull out of the OSK and this liquidity pool entirely. Because I've seen people have done this. They pull out of OSK and this liquidity entirely, and they start selling their FIS to buy OSK. So what this action is gonna do is gonna hurt more than it helps. Okay, so the correct way is you take a portion of the OSK and this liquidity out, and then provide liquidity using USDT and OSK into the pool, and then stake any single tokens right into the single pledge contract in the elephant pool. That's what you should do, okay, to help. So evidently, as you can see in the past 2 days, how this can help is that our token went from $8.35 up to $10.09 at this moment, right? So and then also if you check the liquidity pool in our Bitkey wallet, you can already see that the OSK and USD pool surpass our OSK and FIS pool in terms of the circulating supply and in terms of the liquidity. Okay, so all the other community are doing this already to help our project. So as a member of our English community, I think we should do our do our parts and then provide for the OSK and USDT liquidity as well. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been preaching as well. So number three, okay, number three on the agenda is the FSTSwap community is pushing for a proposal to use the DEX transaction fee to repurchase and burn OSK. Okay, so essentially what this does is that so as I just told you, right, there are 650,000 circulating supply of OSK currently in the market. So if our DEX raise the transaction fee and essentially raising the slippage, right, up from, let's say 3%, 0.3% to 0.4%, then they would have enough, they would have the liquidity to buy back from the market the OSK that are currently in the market, right? And they will proceed to burn that OSK, thus cutting the circulating supply even more. So basically what this one does is it will put an upward pressure for the OSK to rise in terms of their price, okay? And so again, it's very simple logic in terms of supply and demands, right? So if there are less supplies in the market and there are a lot of demands, obviously the price is going up, right? So burning does that. And then how do they get the money? By raising the transaction fee a little bit, and then using that part of the transaction fee to buy back the OSK and then burning that. Okay, so and then this proposal is being these are decisions will be made by all the holders of our token, right? And then this consensus is being voted on snapshot.org. So this website is it's a public website used by a lot of projects. And then so on there, PancakeSwap is on there, the Decentralized, Curves, Finance, and all the other major projects are using this platform for decision making with DAOs and stuff, right? So your vote, like this project will need, you would need to connect your wallet with this project. And then depending on how much token you have, right? The weight is distributed according to how much, so your voting weight is counted according to how much token you hold in your wallet, okay? And then I can post that link later after this meeting as well in our English channel, so everybody can go on there and vote, right? Like yeah. And then furthermore, any future decisions that require the community consensus will also be put forward on that website. Okay, so you should be paying attention to this website. Most of the time, I think that our developers Twitter will announce if there are any kind of new proposal that are being put forward. So you can check it out on there. Yep. And then number four, the FON contract, right? If I remember correctly, I was posting in the English chat and also the admin chat, there was a similar consensus voting process, right? Voted for stopping our FON contract. So that consensus has been put through. So FON farm contract has been executed. This means all FON production is halted. The rest of the farm, 85% from the farm and 15% from the foundation, will go directly into a black hole address. Okay, so and then this is now reversible. So there so all the farm that are currently circulating on the market is what we will have for our public chain. So think about it, right? Just think about it. Like originally it was it 37 million or 31 million, right? 37 million. Now it's only a portion of that. we started the farming on May the 1st, and then we stopped it around July, right? So it's only been 2 months. And then so just to think about it, how much fund is there in that in our swap right now? And then think about just let this sink in, right? Like if our public chain took off, right, with this amount of font as our like the equivalent of BNB, think about how much each font will be worth. Okay, so just let that sink in for a little bit, and then you can check this address here, right? Which is on BSC scan. You can see the whole contract. I can post that as well on the chat after. So you can verify this because a lot of rumors have been circulating around saying that we halted the Fong contract for Fong, but the developer are still getting their 15%, right? So that's why the developer has decided to go fully transparent, and then you can check everything on BSC scan regarding this contract. Okay. And number 5 on the agenda is to okay, I already mentioned this before. So basically there's a new contract for OSK on single pledge token, right? So you should go there and get your tokens out and then repledge it again, repledge the token in a single pool again. So I've already said that. And let's jump to number 6, right? Which is in the future, FSTSwap will not officially promote any kind of IDO, ecologies, and other projects, and solely focus on developing and growing our three tokens. Okay, so this means that these projects and ecologies are coming into our DEX. They can come, but whether or not to participate, it's your own decision. Okay, so there will not be any kind of official announcements, okay, regarding these projects, IDO, and ecologies. So it is advised that you do your own research and decide for yourself whether to participate or not. Okay, so so our developers are very focused. They're zoom in on developing and growing our three tokens. So none of the other ecology anymore. Okay. And then so regarding to the current project that are still on FSTSwap, so Jockey Club, Tomato Light, and other stuff, right? I think you guys already heard some of the news that are posted in the English channel. So Jockey Club, right? As we know, so for people who are participating in the project, there was a person who was writing a code, right? So this person intentionally left a loophole, right? And then he later on that day he attacked using that loophole, and then he was able to escape with a lot of tokens, right? And then so currently they're in pursuit of this person, and then most likely if this person is caught, right? So this person has escaped to China, right? And if this person is caught, he will be sued, and there will be legal precautions and anything that follows. Okay, so this is about Jockey Club. But in the meantime, there's another solution provided by Fong Fong, which is like the node behind that are cooperating between the Jockey Club and that are cooperating with the Jockey Club people, right? So so they have, from what I heard, right, they have provided another solution, which is another game, and then people who has a stake in who has like horses or NFTs and liquidities in terms of jock, right? In the previous game in the Jockey Club, they are able to get some of the new resources in the new game, and thus they're able to recuperate some of the costs over there, as opposed to refunding the entire pool. So that's another solution that they're providing. So other than that, I think we have to follow their main channel for any kind of updates. And then if there's any changes, I'll probably provide updates as well, because I'm personally in that project as well. I have 2 horses. Uh, yeah, I'll be on the lookout for that. As with number 8 that are on the list is FSTSwap will be introducing Roselle NFT token farming to our community. So this will provide benefit for all the PG NFT holders and liquidity providers of all 3 USDT pools. Okay, so for the PG NFT users, okay, or holders, we will be getting a fixed ratio of 30% to farm for the result NFT token. So what this NFT token is, it's kind of like the currency for our self-established, self-built NFT markets. Okay, so it's like if you go on OpenSea, right? You're trading ETH as for most of the NFTs that you can buy on there, right? And then so this Roselle token will act similarly to ETH in that way, okay? And then there's a fixed ratio of 30% for PG NFT holders. As with the rest 70%, it's spreaded across all 3 LPs. So between Fawn USDT, this USDT, and OSK USDT pools. The ratio are to be determined. You know, like it's as soon as I hear the news, like how much allocation is for each pool, I will be announcing it in the group as well. Okay, and then lastly, as I previously mentioned before, right? There are 50,000 OSK tokens that are used for the movie NFTs, right? They have since transferred that. They have mapped the OSK token onto Binance already, but currently they haven't because due to various reasons, mostly pandemics, right? The original plan for the movie NFT could not be fulfilled in time. So therefore, the new functions need to be developed and added to the movie NFTs. So right now, they have decided to lock these movie NFT under pink lock until 2023, August of 2023. And then you can check these under pink lock or pink cell on BSC as well. Okay, so right now there isn't any use for these NFTs, so they decided to lock it, right? And then if in the future, with the Roselle NFT tokens being the first step, right, to build our to farming our NFT market tokens, this is like the first step of many in the right directions to imbue functions to our NFTs. Okay, so this is the first one, and then other things will quickly follow. So you just have to stay tuned for these news. So I kind of expect there will be like either probably a Twitter handle relating to Roselle. All the news will be announced there, or there will be another channel officially announcing these news. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And then yeah, this pretty much concludes what needs to be updated when what's happening around the space recently. Okay, so the main thing you should be doing is, if you have a single pledge token in the elephant contract, you should pick it out from the finished one and then put it into the live one. And also you should take some of the liquidity out and provide for OSK USDT pool. And that's all you should be doing. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So if anybody has any kind of questions or don't know how to like need clarification, on some of these points. You guys are welcome to provide any kind of feedback, and then if I have answers, I will try my best to provide them. And that's it.
Max, you started to say something about tomato, but you never finished.
Oh, so what happened to tomato is that so remember tomato they were saying they remember they provided there was an IDO, right? And then right after IDO, the devs has given up the privilege for the administration privilege for their liquidity pool, right? So remember Paul, last time Paul was on a call, he said that these project, right, who has given up these privileges have been attacked by these bots, right? So what these bots do is that they buy low and sell high, right? So without any control, the dev cannot stop these bots, right? So like they did a wonderful job by doing the vesting period of 200 days, right? Which slowly takes out the tomato, right? But after the public sale, they could not control any of it, right? So what they did was that they did a tomatoes with an S at the end, right? So what you could do is that I don't know if you can still do that, but right now, I think previously, right, you were able to exchange one big tomato for 100 small tomatoes, and then you're able to, starting from 1,000 smaller tomatoes, you're able to pledge that and then provide liquidity for that, and you're able to earn USDT each day. So I tried it. I provided 1,000 tomatoes in there, and then you're getting like 3 cents per day. That's pretty much the ratio for providing liquidities for these things. So that's about tomatoes, okay? And then as for light project, I think most of you are probably not in this project, right? Like any of you are in light?
Yeah, I think a lot of us just stop jumping on projects till everything else kind of comes
Okay.
back.
That's actually a good thing, right? So because 2 days ago, right? As you can probably tell, right? Like if you look at the token price, light like took a dip, right? Because too many people was minting LUSD while the light token was under $1. So people that didn't understand how light works start like so they were using that, and then it caused a depeg between the LUSD and the USDT, right? So right now, it used to be that light was almost like uh, 90 cents per dollar of USDT. Now it's suffering. Right now, it's like sitting at 0.48 to a dollar. Okay, so right now, if you're in a light project, right, you should like follow the direction and not blindly minting LUSD. Okay, so there's an algorithm to this. So if everybody was to play by their rules, there will be no problems. But if you get greedy, there could be some problems because the algorithm is built that way. Nobody can stop it, right? So if you don't play by the rules, you're gonna get hurt. So that's pretty much it about light. And then light. Did anybody participate in BCC in the IDO?
Yes, there were a few of us that did.
Okay, so BCC, right? So what's happening is that after the public sale, right? Like if you were to sell it, right, which is like the recommendation, right? You can participate in the IDO, but don't go for the public sale, right? So if you were like that, you follow the advice, then you will be gaining 3x, right? So the BCC was the ideal was at 0.01 USDT, right? So 1 cent, right? And then after it opens, it jumped all the way to 10 cents, but it got back down to 3 cents, right? So if you follow the advice and you sold it then, you will be earning 3 times of your initial investment, okay? But if you held on to your tokens, right? Right now it's trading under 0.009 cents, which is 1 cent less than not 1 cent, but 0.1 cent less than the way you started with. Okay, so but because of the way it works, right? The BCC will continue to buy back the token and start burning it, right? Again, supply and demand. If the more they burn, the more the token will rise in value. So as you can see in the last 24 hours, according to the BitKeep stats, it has gone up in 23% in terms of the price. Okay, so so right now, if you haven't sold it after the public sale has started, then you should be then you should wait a little bit and then try to, after you go past 1 cent, you should just sell it, or you can hold on to it and then wait and see, right? So to recuperate some of the initial investments. Okay, that's what you should be doing. And then also you can also provide liquidity by staking your BCC tokens in the IDO, not in the IDO, but in their pool, and in return you will get BCC tokens provided to you, okay, each day at 8 o'clock in the at night, our time, so 8 o'clock in the morning in China time. So you will be getting tokens send it to your wallet if you've been providing liquidity. Okay, so you can decide what you want to do, but this is pretty much about BCC. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Max, this is AJ.
Hey AJ.
Hey, on the when we were farming and then the farming pools ended, I was able to unstake all of my pools except the FIS USDT, and I have not been able to do anything in terms of getting it out. It keeps giving me a burn. The burn amount exceeds some type of a limit. Can you explain to me what is going on there, and if there's any way to unstake back into an active pool?
Now, okay, I've encountered similar problems with people in China, right? And then so one of the things that I end up discovering what the problem was, right? So if you remember correctly, you're talking about the USDT / FIS pool, right? Is that what you're talking about?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so the problem I discovered with them is that if you remember correctly, when we're supposed to vote for the no's, right, you first have to provide liquidity for the USDT and FIS pool, and then you will gain a FSTSwap LP token. And you use that LP token, you stake that into the farm, and in the farm, you will get FRT tokens, right? And you use FRT tokens to vote for the nodes, right? So this is how it works. And then if you want to take out your liquidity for FIS / USDT pool, you will have to backtrack using the exact same steps. So to run it down again, first you have to take out your FRT tokens from the nodes and nodes, okay? And then use that FRT token. Then you will go to the farm, and then you will take out the swap LP tokens, and then you are able to take out your liquidity that way. Okay, so make sure you follow these steps. Otherwise, let's say you can see your liquidity in the farm, right?
Yeah.
But you can see your liquidity in farm. Okay, so you have to unstake first. So if you don't like if you still have problem with this, right, I can go into a chat room with you where you can share your screen with me and then I'll walk you through the steps, right? Or you can try it by yourself. Uh, uh but like they're like with the Chinese person that was able to help, that was her problem. That was her problem. She didn't follow the entire step. She didn't backtrack all the way, right? So she forgot the FSTSwap LP token in the middle, right? So that was her problem. But I don't know, without seeing your interface, I could not diagnose the problem right now. But yeah, so if you have any kind of problem, you can message me and then I can go into a room with you to help. Okay.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. I'll look into backtracking those steps and then I'll
Yeah.
reach out if I need it.
Mhm.
Max,
Cheers.
so let me ask you a question. I'm sorry, AJ, were you finished, AJ?
I'm finished. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So Max, I wanted to ask you this. You made a comment earlier. You
Uh-huh.
said something earlier about, hold on. Sorry. You said something earlier about, imagine if XYZ happens and Fawn goes up, right? Because there's only a certain amount of Fawn, right?
Right. Yeah, so basically the total circulating supply is capped, right? So we're only
Yeah.
been farming for like 2 months, or 2 or 3, like a little bit more than 2 months, right? Like we kind of stopped in the middle of July, so the dates are kind of you know.
Yeah. So my question is, we're not focusing on Fist, right? Because we're trying to depeg the project from Fist. Was that correct? Like, is Fist a wash? Like, is that something that we're just trying to get away from? Right?
Uh,
We're trying to pump up OSK, right? We're trying to concentrate
right.
on OSK. Is Fist dead? Is that one of the, I know it was always Fist Fawn and OSK. Is Fist a wash? Is it
Okay, I understand your question. Okay, so um this is what I'll say to the people who ask this question, right? So so right now, um as you can see, because I was explaining why they had to focus on OSK, right? Because there are a limited amount of supplies for OSK, and the majority of holders are the loyal holders of loyal followers of this project, right? And also there is a 1,000 cap per wallet, right, for our OSK, as you all know, right? So there's like anti-whale mechanism built into OSK, whereas FIS, because is a DEX token, anybody, any kind of project, any kind of organization can hold a larger amount of it. Okay, but here, like people are concerned about this going down the gutter, right? And then for me as well, right? So I thought of this question: is this going to be dead, right? They said they're focusing on free coins, but now they're focusing on fun and OSK. What's going on? What about the FIS, people, right? As I can imagine, there are people who are who only holds one single type of token, right? So here's what I'm gonna say, okay? So think about it. So what this step is going to do, right? So basically depegging FIS from OSK, what this is going to do is, instead of OSK's price hinging on the price of FIS, right? Because how DeFi works, right? Now, if the FIS, no, I mean, now if the OSK and FIS liquidity pool overtakes, which it has already, overtakes the FIS OSK pool. So what's that going to do is it's gonna peg the OSK token to the USDT price. Okay, as we all know, USDT is a stable coin. The price doesn't fluctuate a lot, right? So if anything goes above 5%, there's gonna be there's some kind of alarm going on. So USDT is a stable coin, and then you see USDT pairing with a lot of other coins in different projects because of this reason, right? So because it doesn't change a lot. So what this is going to do is the OSK price is going to be hinged on USDT, and then it has less to do with OSK and FIS. Okay, so it still has some effect, but not as great. Like if I were to put it into numbers, it's probably like 90% has to do with USDT price and 10% has to do with FIS, right? So as the liquidity pool increase in terms of the liquidity, right? The gap increases, FIS will have less effect on the OSK token in terms of the price. Okay, so what's this gonna do is that we're focusing on one token, which is very easy to build, right? As we've seen it prior to 225, we're only building remember how the price used to be, right? Like everybody was buying one single token, and then it wasn't complicated like that. It was very easy to build up in terms of the price. If you can reach $10, you can probably reach $30, and then it increases from that. Like you see a huge spike from time to time, right? Like it will be hovering around like $30 for a period of time, and then it jumps to 50, right? And from then on, 50 will be like the point where it will hang around 1 to 2 months, and it jumps to 80 and then to 100, and it was like that. So that's why they're proposing to use OSK for the time being and focus on that. And once the liquidity pool reaches a certain point for OSK and USDT, think about how much OSK, how much FIS is going to take to buy one single token of OSK, right? So right now, FIS is sitting at 0.18 cents, okay? And then the OSK is sitting at $10.88. Let's take a whole number, right? Let's take a whole number. Let's say FIS was at 20 cents, and then OSK was sitting at $10, right? So $10, you divide that by 20 cents, right? You would get 50. So 50 FIS equals to OSK, right? So if you were to raise the OSK's value by to $100, then it would require, and then let's say hypothetically speaking, FIS remains the same price. It would take 500 FIS to exchange for one OSK token. Okay, so now like you might be wondering, but FIS is still down in the gutter, right? So what they're going to do, what most likely they're going to do is that they're going to use the transaction fee from the increased transaction fee that are brought by all the tokens, and they will start exchanging OSK token for FIS, right? So imagine OSK token are worth a lot more. Then the foundation is going to use their money and start buying back FIS for a lot lower price, right? And then they will be burning it, like how they're proposing right now. So right now they're proposing to buy back OSK token and burn it, right? So similar logic could be applied to FIS. Okay, similar practice could be applied to FIS. So let's say FIS was to go down into less than 1 cent, they would just have more buying power with their money, right? So they can buy more FIS. And then once they purchase that FIS back into the foundation's hand, they could proceed to burn that FIS, and then thus cutting the circulating supply of FIS, and then it puts an upward pressure for FIS to rise in value. Okay, so this is very similar, and this is very standard practices done by a lot of other projects that I participated in. Okay, so in the past, I've been in a project where they do a buyback, and then suddenly the price rose like 20%, which is a lot, right? And then so FIS is a lot more complicated than OSK. First is because there is no limit on how much a wallet can hold, and then second, the circulating supply for FIST is much larger than OSK, and then third, uh, there are people in a community, right? I don't know if you've been to other nodes Telegram channel, but they have teams of people, right? Each day they would post statistics relating to the tokens, right? And then they went on BSC scan and they would take snapshot of the top holder of the tokens, right? They would take snapshot of their wallet and they would monitor that. And then so most likely, I think what's gonna happen is like as soon as as soon as the organization or the foundation has enough money from the transaction fee that they earn, right? They're gonna start repurchasing our tokens back in stages. Okay, so it's not gonna be a set time, because if people knows when you're gonna repurchase, when you're gonna do a buyback, they're gonna do the buyback. They're gonna buy the token right before you do the buyback, right? And they will proceed to sell it and dump it right after you do the buyback, right? So most likely what they're going to do is they're not going to have a set time for it, but they will have a strategy revolving around that. So and then if it hits a certain price, they're going to do the buyback. So is that like did I explain the concept clearly, Carlos? Hello?
I think we lost Carlos there.
Oh, okay. Hopefully, I've explained it in the manner that people are able to understand. Hopefully, because putting these into words and then trying to articulate these concepts, right? Like it requires it requires a lot of knowledge from this just these crypto in general, right? So hopefully I've explained it in a manner that was easy to understand.
Well, we appreciate all the effort you put into this, Max. A lot of us are still in these pools. We just don't know the direction where we're headed. So
I
we
see.
appreciate everything we appreciate everything that you're doing. Does anybody else have any questions for Max? I think you've done pretty much all the updates you have, correct, Max?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much what I've rolled in there, and then if there anything new, I think that like so I'm checking the groups every day for updates and stuff, right? So, but as you guys can understand, there is a 12 hours time differences between our time zones, right? So whatever they said 12 hours ago, I will be receiving it 12 hours after, right? So so there's a little bit of time gaps there, and then maybe like sometimes the information would not come to me immediately, but I try to provide the full picture as much as I can. And the funny thing is, I saw a screenshot in the group, right? And then it came from the Oscar Dow people, right? And the people in their community are buying OSK now because they're seeing the rise, which is funny to me.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on in that other community, but are you saying that if they buy OSK there, it's gonna increase the price here too, or are they?
No, they're buying our tokens. So the Oscar Dow people are buying our tokens. So I thought they were gone, right? I thought they were gone for good since they left, right? Like they're no longer in consensus with the FIST, right? You remember they left like 2 weeks ago. But now the people are buying our tokens again. I was like, what's going on?
Is that a good sign? I'm assuming. Is that a good thing?
I think so, because obviously if let's say if your enemies are buying your product, obviously you're doing something good, right? Your opponents are doing like yeah, it's funny to me, but yeah.
Yeah, Carlos, you jumped off by I think you were logged out. Did you have any more questions for Max before we close it off?
Yeah, I got knocked out. Sorry about that. I kind of missed everything that just happened, but I wanted to ask. I'll listen to the recording later.
Yeah.
So Max, so in other words, if you're saying the importance right now is going to OSK and to Fawn, so you think if they right, it's still happening, right? October is still going live, right? The
Okay, so let me just clarify this, right? So right now the direction, right? So this direction or strategy is came up by the top minds of these community leaders and their members, right? So these people, like obviously they're guiding a couple thousand people in their communities, and then obviously they would choose the best person to do these jobs, right? So they're putting the best mind together to come up with a solution. So and then the solution they're presenting here today, which has been in the past 2 days that the community has been doing, is to build up OSK pool, OSK USDT pool to be precise, okay? And then you can see the effort there. If you check the stats, right? Our OSK USDT, the circulating supplies has already overtaken OSK FIS pool, right? So right now it's sitting at 15 million, whereas OSK FIS is sitting at 6 million, okay? So you can already see the efforts by the community putting their strength together, right? And then also OSK Fawn pool needs the DPEG as well, right? So as you know, right, OSK they're trying to build up OSK first. So by a lot of organizations, a lot of project came in during May and June. They came in and then try to farm, and then they did that, right? So we kind of whitelisted some of them, right? So these organizations holds Fawn as well, right? So we don't want Fawn's price to be affecting OSK token as well. So that's why they're trying to depeg that pool as well. So and it establishing their own respective USDT pool. So each token will only affect themselves in terms of the price. Okay. So this is the action they're taking, and it seems to be working because as you can see the OSK price, right? Like it's been going up for the past 2 days. And at I think 1 week ago, at one point the price was at $7 ish, right? And then at its lowest point, it dropped to $6.07. So you can see the efforts are working, and then the strategy is taking shape, and then the people in the community are following these directives. Okay, so as part of the English community, we can do our parts as well to help our token grow, and then as for what was your other question? Sorry, Carlos. I believe you had another question. Was it font?
well, I was just asking about the importance of Fawn, if Fawn was gonna go up, because aren't we supposed to launch something in October?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So that just slipped my mind. Anyway, so about the public chain, right? About the public chain and the dates. Okay, so it is scheduled that on October the 1st, we're going to launch a test of our public chain. It's not an official launch. It's kind of like soft opening for a store. This is to gauge the traffic of the public chain. So for instance, right, when you open a new store, right, and you see a bunch of people, you want to test your lows, right? So the example I would be giving is that you open a Walmart and there are a bunch of people rushing in to buy stuff. Like if you have 100 customers lining up, right, and you only have 2 cashiers, right, that's going to be a problem. So October is the time that they're using for testing the public chain. It's like a soft opening for the public chain. So they're testing that to see how much traffic the server can handle. Okay, and then if it's not enough, they will need to adjust the loads. Maybe they need to buy new equipment. So that's the time for that. So 2 months later, okay, which is December, that's when they have 2 months worth of data. They are able to rely on that data, and they're able to use that data and then to accurately gauge how much daily traffic are able to provide on the public blockchain, right? So think about it. For example, Ethereum, right? As you know, Ethereum can only process, I think, 50 trades per second, right? Whereas on DeFi, you can process like thousands and more, right? So they need to gauge that, and then they need that time, right? So December, close to like Christmas, is the time they will be, at least for now, is the time they are scheduled to have an official launch for the public chain. Okay, and then so just a little bit more information about that, right? So when the public chain goes up, obviously they're gonna have public chains node. Okay, so it's 21 out of 99. Okay, 21 active nodes, and then 78 inactive or backup nodes. Okay, much like what we had for our FSTSwap node. So, but this one is much bigger because think about it. You can build multiple swap on a public chain, right? And then you could have this swap, right? And you can have OSK swap. You could have maybe like other jelly swap or pancake swap or other things, right? So these swap all will be using Fong as their equivalent of BNB here on Binance, okay? And then the good thing about that is if you have a node and you're placed among the top 21 nodes that are there, you will be able to receive a cut of the transaction fee each time people makes a transaction on our public chain. Okay, so it's very similar to how Tron TRX works. So people who are in the nodes, they will be receiving TRX as a compensation, and BNB as well, right? And the for Binance. So think about that. So let's say if we get huge traffic in the future, if you are one of the nodes, you will you can literally stop working, quit your job, and relax on the beach. Okay, but that's a big if our public chain takes up. And then right now we're doing whatever we can to help our swap and our token, right? So the first step towards that is to help build our OSK token. So to build the price up, and then this way we can attract more projects to come into the swap, and then this is the plan that we had all along, right? So we're just going. So we're just reverting back to this plan, and then have more people come to us, and then hopefully by the time we launch our public chain, we will have enough traffic and people to participate. This is the significance of Font. Right now, you're seeing the Font price $3.72. You think nothing of it, right? So think BNB was like that, okay? BNB was like that. Ethereum was like that, okay? Like you can look up the story on Google. You can Google it, right? You can see it. It was all like that. But if you see the value, right, and then you do your parts by building consensus, by telling your projects to your friends and family, this is how you can help, right? So right now, the other communities are doing this, and they're doing this, and then that's how they can help. And then the top minds of the community are putting strategies together and putting proposals together to improve our project and swap as we speak. And then yeah, so they have different different people are playing different parts. So they got people servicing the community, they got people who are doing the groundwork, they got people who are doing the mind the strategy building and the community building part. So they got all kind of different people who are doing different parts, right? So right now I understand that our international community are not as big, but we can also replicate this by building a community, by building by having people doing different parts to contribute to the project, and then hopefully it will be successful. And so I'm doing my parts by relating messages, and then providing updates, and sometimes by telling my friends about the project. So this is what I'm doing. So yeah, hopefully you see how big this is, and hopefully you can pitch in.
All right. Okay, Max, thanks. And anybody else have a question? Okay, if not, we're gonna continue with our schedule that we proposed last time we were on a call. Every second Monday of the month we'll come on with updates from Max and Paul if he can join us. And if we're gonna do any other calls, we will let everybody know in the Telegram room if we're gonna do any impromptu calls during the weeks whenever there's any kind of big updates. And hopefully Max will be available to give us more updates when things like that happen, and then update us as much as we can. Thank you so much, Max. If there's no other questions, we're gonna close the call off and wait to hear from the devs and Max on the Telegram chat, right, Max? That's the
Yeah, that's the official channel. And then I think most of the people here are in our management group, right? Oh, I just read that Trailblazer was trying to join the call and he got kicked off. Did we do that? Shit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
until next time, thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and thanks
Yeah.
Max for the updates. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Have a good night, people.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Peter. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.